Let me correct that question a bit. Yes, I've been in international forums, met many leaders. You added great leaders. So, many leaders, not always so great. Yes, there are a few great leaders, no question about that. Where is the world heading? There are many possibilities because we have capabilities and technologies which no other generation could ever dream of. Will our capabilities turn against us or will they work for us is the big question. If all the human capabilities which are so hugely enhanced because of technology, everything that an individual human being could do has expanded manifold. In this enhanced state, and our numbers have increased tremendously. In the beginning of 20th century, we were just about 1.5 billion people. Today, we are 7.3 billion people. The United Nations making predictions that by 2050, we will be 9.7 billion people. If all these people get educated, get technologically empowered, 9.7 billion people or nearly 10 billion people on this planet is for sure going to be a disaster. We can make arrangements and arrangements, we can improve the arrangements, we can make more energy-saving machines, we can recycle the shit. Yes, we can do all this. But if we don't come to our senses with human populations, there's going to be… I want you to just imagine how the world will be if the population almost goes up by 50% tomorrow. Just imagine your town, how it will be if 50% population increases tomorrow morning. Or in other words, no matter what we create, no matter how much we strive, whatever we build, everything is going to be insufficient because the planet is going to be insufficient. Of course, we are looking at planets which could sustain life outside of this solar system. We have found two, three very promising planets. It's just a little, not in the walking distance. A few thousand or a million light years away. Great planets, I believe. But this is the thing, but nobody wants to address this issue. Everybody wants to talk about cosmetic solutions, not address the basic problem of expanding human population. I was in a conference and I said, see, unless you reduce the human footprint on the planet, there is no solution for anything. Then they asked me a brilliant question, how do you reduce the human footprint? I said, you have to reduce the number of feet. That's the only way. So, right now, it doesn't matter what others think. All of you who are here and those of you who are hanging out with me, we can take it upon ourselves that we will not push the human population. You can have a dog. A husband and wife were having a debate. whether to have a child or not. The husband wanted a child, the wife hesitating because she will lose the shape of her body. Husband, having a baby is simple. But for the woman, it's too many things involved. So debate was going on, and then they came and the debate moved into an area where should we have a baby or should we get a dog? And they could not decide. They went to a counselor. They put their problem in front of him. So he said, you got to just make up your mind whether you want to ruin the carpets or you like. I am not saying children are bad, they're wonderful, but it's just too many. We as human beings, we are wonderful, but we are too many. We are so many that the insect population is going down. No, it's not a joke, it's very threatening. If the insect population disappears, the planet will be destroyed. Yes, the worms disappear, the planet will be destroyed. If you and me disappear, planet will flourish. So, leave the leaders alone because in every conference that you meet, very cosmetic solutions are being talked about. How to adjust the marketplace, okay? How to do this, how to do that. On immediate scale, yes, those things are necessary, but you're talking about what is the future of this world. If that is so, if we want a future for this world, if we want our children and their children to live well on this planet, the only way is to bring down human population. Not by doing some horrible act, but if we have… See, our life expectancy has improved. This means we have taken death into our hands. When we take death into our hands, it is our business to take birth also into our hands, isn't it? If we convince the population of this one thing, which is very bright because tomorrow morning the sun will come up, what's the problem? Anger, resentment, hatred, these are all poisons that you drink and you expect somebody else to die. Life doesn't work like that. You drink poison, you die. It's a very fair life.
Sir, when someone has wronged us or has abused us in some way, we either have feelings of hostility and resentment…
Oh, we must file a suit.
No, in a minor sense, if they abuse us or if they wrong us, we sometimes have feelings of resentment and hostility against them. And sometimes we might tend to forgive them and let it go. So my question here is, where must we draw a line to hold the wrongdoer responsible for what he does, and when should we know to forgive him, and when should we know to let it go? So this is the question.
See, this is not about the other person. The choice for you is this. If you are given a choice, right now, for all of you, if you are given a choice that you can either live joyfully, blissfully, or miserably, or in anger, or in stress, or in resentment, what is your natural choice? You must choose, I'm going to bless you right now. What is your natural choice? Joyfully, isn't it? Because every human being is looking for highest level of pleasantness for himself or herself. You can call it joy, you can call it bliss, these are just words. Essentially, we want highest level of pleasantness for ourselves. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only to make your surroundings pleasant, you need the cooperation of all these people. Because in creating an external situation, there are many forces involved. Not all of them you even know. You want to create a wonderful situation for yourself, you don't even know how many forces are working in that area. If you harness a few forces, if they cooperate, things will happen. If they don't cooperate, it won't happen. But for the pleasantness of the body, pleasantness of the mind, pleasantness of your emotion and energy, it's 100% you. Yes or no?
Yes.
Surroundings, creating situations in the surroundings, you need cooperation from the people, otherwise it won't happen. So only for success, you need cooperation. To keep yourself pleasant is 100% yours. So right now, you know well that you want to be peaceful, but somebody else is doing something. What are they doing? They know what they know best. They're abusing you. Why are they doing it? Because that's all they know. Yes or no? That is how they know their life, that's why they're doing it. If you become resentful and you think something will happen to them, see, these are things. Anger, resentment, hatred, these are all poisons that you drink and you expect somebody else to die. No, life doesn't work like that. You drink poison, you die, it's a very fair life. If you drink poison, you die. Very fair, isn't it so? I drink poison and you die, is it fair? So, people who are in anger, resentment, hatred, this is their thing. They are drinking poison. When I say poison, I am not saying in a moral sense. There is substantial medical evidence right now that we can show you with a blood test that 5 minutes before you take your blood test right now, 5 minutes you may remain in extreme anger and take your blood test, you will see you're chemically poisoned actually. So you're literally poisoning yourself, thinking it's going to hurt them. No, it's only going to hurt you. So it doesn't make sense to me, that's all. It's not a morality, whether you should get angry or not get angry. It's up to you if you want to make a mess out of yourself. You can't become a good wife based on how your mother became a good wife. Situations have changed, expectations have changed. The biggest mistake humanity made was, they started saying marriages are made in heaven, that's why it's such a mess. You made this relationship because you need it badly, isn't it? If you understand and you're always grateful for this, you would handle it well.
Our mothers have set amazing benchmark.
The moment you say mothers,
Yeah.
they're giving a sound ambience of babies crying.
That's the halo effect, I think. Yeah, so they've set quite a big benchmark of being an ideal wife. However, I, or girls of my generation, feel that we cannot be as good as wife as my mother has been, or our mothers have been. So should I feel that I am falling short of in my personal life, or should I feel that I'm not giving enough justice to my marriage once I'm married? How should I feel about this?
You know, our center in the United States is in Tennessee. Tennessee is a little one kind of state, okay. Mary Makowski, that's not Romanian, right? Okay. Mary Makowski got married. And after their honeymoon, they came home and she threatened him that she's going to make a dinner all by herself. I'm sorry, she said she'll make dinner for the new husband. And husband came home from work and she served the dinner and he put it in his mouth and slowly he was chewing on it and went into profound thought. Then she was very excited about this dinner and she said, there are only two things my mother taught me how to cook, the meatloaf and the apple pie. Then he looked at her and said, "Darling, which one is this?" So, your mother, your grandmother, how they made good wives? Largely it was believed the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Today your husband will call Uber Eats and whatever, Quick Picks and this and that and Swiggies and whatever, all right? So, you can't make a good wife based on how your grandmother became a good wife. You can't become a good wife based on how your mother became a good wife. Situations have changed, expectations have changed. It's not in the stomach anymore. For some it's gone up into the head, for some it's gone further south. Yes? So, you don't do that. Essentially, what a husband and wife means is, because you're not geared, most people are not geared, very few people in this world are geared to make this journey of life all by themselves. They're organized enough within themselves totally. They never feel anything missing in their life because they've made themselves like that. But most people need somebody else to lean on. Either emotionally, psychologically, there are needs in a human being, physical needs, psychological needs, emotional needs, maybe social needs, economic needs, variety of needs. To fulfill these needs, you want to find one person that you can depend on. Because it's very difficult even to find one person with whom you can share everything that you have, your body, mind, emotion and works. So this is the idea. Formalizing it is so that every time you get some little friction, you don't fall apart, so little tying up so that things don't fall apart very easily, all right? Nothing else. The biggest mistake humanity made was, they started saying marriages are made in heaven, that's why it's such a mess. No, it's done here. If you see, marriages are made between us and we took responsibility for who we are, we could have made it work, but the damn thing is made in heaven. Not suitable here, it's because it's alien stuff. Everything is a mess because you think it's made elsewhere by somebody else. If you understand it's made by you for your well-being, to fulfill your needs and your purposes so that you can go through this journey of life with least amount of trouble and friction, then you would handle it more responsibly, isn't it? And according to contemporary needs, not how your grandmother did her marriage. You can't do it that way because expectations and situations have completely altered themselves. So, if you hold somebody who is your friend and who is your need, you must understand. You are in this relationship because you need. Maybe the other person also needs, but that's from their side. As far as you are concerned, you made this relationship because you need it badly, isn't it? If you understand and you're always grateful for this, that somebody is fulfilling all your need, you would handle it well. You wouldn't make a misery out of it. But now you think somebody else needs you, then you will make a mess out of it. You understand, you need it. Well, the other person also needs to understand he needs it. Now there is a cohesion. If you think, oh, you need me, so I'm going to exploit you. No, this is not about you squeezing happiness out of somebody or they squeezing happiness out of you. If two happy people meet, then there can be something wonderful happening between them. But you are a misery and you think somebody else should be the source of your happiness, well, it'll multiply.
Being a very deep cricket enthusiast, now somewhat involved with the sport, I see with admiration the rise and rise and rise of Virat Kohli. I see his energy on the field, I see his energy off the field. I see the way he's transforming and rewriting the rules of the game. The T20 format, 140 to 160 was par score. He's redefined it. Now 190 is subpar.
250.
250, 240. There is something within him that propels him more than others. There are many people who are talented. There are many people who have this ability, but there are few who realize this ability. What is it that takes one to realize that he can do a little more, he can inspire more, he can create more, he can create new standards? Is there something from within or is it something from outside? What is it?
I've also been watching Virat Kohli with interest because I've seen every great batsman in the last 40-45 years. Very few have hit the ball the way he's hitting it. Probably the only other person that I can think of is Vivian Richards, who used to hit the ball like this. I think he was the only one who was striking the ball the way this boy is striking today, which is very rare. Most people who have watched only cricket on the television don't understand this probably. It's one of the most dangerous games on the planet. A hard ball is coming at you over 130, 140 kilometers per hour, and this is the only sport where the ball is pitched and it swings this way, that way, which gives you a fraction of a second to make your decision how to handle that ball. It's a very dangerous game. You must… you know, there are bowling machines, they may be there in Calcutta, yes? The bowling machines are there. Young man, I'm telling you, don't try 140 kilometers. At 80 or 90 kilometers, just set the bowling machine at 90 kilometers and stand there and see how the ball comes at you. It's crazy, okay. So every ball is different, the way it's coming at you, so it needs to be handled. Everybody who's there, we must understand, is very good. They may look clumsy, they may get out for zero, but they're very good with what they're doing. But somebody stands out like this. This reminds me of… there was a motorcycle rider whose name was Kenny Roberts, who won the world championships 5 times in a row. People couldn't believe it because you have to win 16 races across the country to get to the championship. All the machines are prepared by the top companies and the talent is at the highest level. But winning 5 in a row was considered unprecedented and impossible. So they asked him, how do you do this? So he said, I go out of control with control. I understand that very well. I live every step of my life like that, always out of control but with control. This is what everybody is seeking. They want little madness in their life, but they don't want to go insane. But their longing for safety and security makes them insulate themselves from that little madness. Then they wonder, what's happened to my life? It's become boring and no good. They try to step out, then they get hit by something. They again build walls around them. This process is going on. So when you take an example like this, one thing is the zeal, another thing is loving what you're doing, really loving what you're doing. That's what you want to do. Now, I think recently Virat Kohli came on the television and said, my only problem is I get angry. I want to be like a monk, something he said, whatever, his own version of wanting to calm. With the kind of talent he has, he is going to be a phenomenon. He's going to be a new cricketing story on the planet. Not just one more player. he has the necessary ingredients. I said this when he was 17, I saw him playing in Singapore for the under-18 team or something, he was captaining that team at that time. I saw this boy playing and then only I said, this guy will go far. And then he vanished out of my radar for almost 5-6 years, and then he surfaced suddenly one day in the test in the Indian team, and now he's going the way he's going. If he learns to be a cool fire, not a fire that burns him up, then he will do things which probably has not been done for a long time.
Sadhguruji, one of the most trending questions that we have here on campus is FOMO, the fear of missing out. we have the fear of missing out on activities, we have the fear of missing out on our placements, we have the fear of missing out on anything whatsoever under the roof. So, Sadhguruji, I have a question for you here, is when do we realize that it's the end? We have to stop this, and this should not influence our decision making. I think a lot of our community would resonate to this question, and we want your perspective on this, sir.
The fear of missing out, let's look at life little beyond… Your stay in the educational institution is only a transition. You need to equip yourself for something you have come. You have not come to an educational institution as a destination. It's a packaging place. Package you nicely so that you can You packaged pretty well today, though.
Thank you, sir.
So, not making a commentary on education, but how we go through it. About missing out, fear of missing out. First of all, fear. Let's address fear before we address missing out. Fear is always about what may happen or may not happen, right? Fear is not about what we are experiencing right now. What will happen is always the fear. Or in other words, your fear is about something which is not yet. Your fear is about something which does not exist. This is all management people. If there were somebody from a psychiatry department, you could have asked them, if I have fear about something that does not exist, what is my condition? They would have a title for you. Yes, NIMHANS is close by, I think. We can always consult, that is also a premier institution. We are suffering something which doesn't even exist. Yes? If you're suffering something that doesn't even exist, it is not about life, it is not about education, it's not about career, it is just about your mind being out of control. Is that not an important aspect that you should manage first before we allow you to manage an industry or a business? Is it not important, first of all, you learn to at least manage your mind? Oh, isn't it important? If you do not know how to manage your mind, what the hell are you going to manage in the world? Managers are all freaking out and growing ulcers in their stomachs. Yes, today it's become normal, if you are a CEO by 45, if you don't have an ulcer, you are not a great CEO. Because you are managing by accident like this. The fear comes because there is an accidental possibility. Tell me, let's say you don't know how to ride a bicycle. You sat on it, it was on stand, you were just pedaling for fun, and it came off stand and started rolling. Anxiety or no? Started rolling faster, fear or no? Very fast, terror or no? It's not because bicycle produces terror, it is just that you don't know how to ride. If you know how to ride, faster it goes, the better it is. Faster it goes, the better it is. The very basis why we created a bicycle is because we wanted to go faster than walking. That's the idea. But if you do not know how to ride, how much fear it creates. Right now your problem is not with the world, your problem is not with your education, your problem is your education system, right from kindergarten, hasn't told you a damn thing about how to manage yourself. They think you're going to manage the world without knowing how to manage yourself. When you are a mess, you can only create a mess, isn't it? You may be successful. Success happens for a variety of reasons. Success is not always 100% yours. There are situations, there are times which support us in many different ways. Of course, your bit is there, but just because somebody is successful, this doesn't mean they've figured out everything. This doesn't mean they're at ease with life. This doesn't mean their life is in some way fulfilled. No, because today our idea of success is just doing little better than somebody else. You doing little better than somebody else means, and you're very happy about that, what it means is you're actually enjoying other people's failures. If somebody enjoys another person's failure, I call that sickness, not success. What do you call it? Hello? I enjoy that you failed. This is sickness, this is not success, isn't it? Unfortunately, this is how you're going. This is the reason why human potential is not unleashed. Because if you're racing with a lame person, you're just happy you're one step ahead of him. Only when you meet Mr. Bolt, you understand who the hell you are. Yes? Till then, you think you are a great runner because the other person doesn't have legs. It's very important that there is nothing to miss out in life. Life is happening to all of us. Question is only, if I miss this party, am I missing out something? If I miss this examination, I am missing out something. If I miss this job, am I missing out something? This is simply because right now, who you are is not internally managed, it is externally stimulated. You're still in a very controlled campus, a very beautiful campus you have, I have to say, wonderful campus. And you're in a very controlled campus atmosphere. When you step out into the world, if you leave it to the people to decide what happens within you, they're going to drive you crazy in no time. Here it's all managed for you, you're not managing this. It's managed for you, what should happen to you, what should not happen to you, somebody else is managing it. When you step out on the street, if you leave it to other people's hands that they can decide whether you're happy or unhappy, you're going to be miserable for sure because they're going to do many things. What happens within you must be determined by you, isn't it? And anyway, why are you copying people? Most people don't know what the hell they're doing. This happened. Shankaran Pillai joined Pentagon, he was working in Pentagon. Then he kept moving his work table from one office to another office, another office to another office, he went on moving around. Then he moved to the corridor, he moved into the garden, he moved here, there. Then he moved into the men's restroom and settled down there and started working. Everybody was looking at this, what's wrong with him, some problem? Initially they thought he's a Russian agent, then he thought he must be a Muslim terrorist, then they thought all those things, then everything ran out, he didn't cause any harm to anybody. Then he settled down in the men's restroom and started working. So they told the Pentagon's psychiatrist, this guy's gone loony, he's working in the men's room and he settled down and he's just doing his work there. So the psychiatrist just strolled in as if he wanted to use the men's room and started chatting. Then he found he was quite normal, everything was fine with him. He said, why are you sitting in the men's room and working? He said, I moved everywhere and saw. In the end, I find this is the only damn place where people know what they're doing.
Look, I have to congratulate you. You made it through a deep, unfiltered video. That takes attention, openness, and courage. So leave your city in the comments or share a quote that stuck with you. If you feel this could help someone, send it their way. Thank you, Big Hug, and until next time.